Welcome, Raiders family. It's Bourkeys here, and welcome to my preview, top 10 preview versus the Titans in a little over 4 hours at Canberra Stadium. Hey, guys, welcome back. Sorry if I've been on a bit of hiatus the last couple of weeks. Holidays, COVID, all that sort of stuff has, turned things a little bit upside down. Look, thanks for joining me. Round 16, Titans at Canberra. So we've really got to start getting our fingers out, so to speak, and putting together some games. We're 2/3 of the way through the season already, if you can believe it. First weekend in July. By the end of August, the home and around, or the first week in September, 8 weeks' time, basically, it's done, and the semis start. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel now of the game is coming to an end. So we've really got to get moving. Leads you to our top 10. I'm going to start with us for the first time in this top 10 compared to doing our second. So number one is a tight rate for the 8. We haven't strung together, I don't think, 3 consecutive wins all year, which is a major concern. Most other sides above us have had a string of 3 or 4 minimum consecutive wins. So we're at a stage now where we really need to string 4, 5, 6 games together in a row to give us some breathing space in that top 8. If we continually drop games, we should win, like St George. We've got Titans today into Cronulla, into Manly without Origin, into the Warriors again. These are winnable games, but if we don't win them, we don't deserve to make the 8. I don't think it's going to be a good sign if we make the 8 with more losses than more wins. We're in a real battle, but I think we have the cattle to get through it, which leaves me to number 2. Who's going to lead us? So when you look at the other great sides, or not great sides, but sides above us in that top 3 or 4, the Storm usually have Munster, who drags the side along. Tedesco drags the Roosters along. Cleary drags the Panthers along. Gutherson usually drags the Eels along. In our cattle, in our elite players, Whiten, Papali, Tarpany, Hodgson and the like, which one of those guys is going to pull us up by the scruff of the neck and say, boys, we are going this way, and lead us for the full 80 minutes? That's a sort of inspirational type of play or players we need to get us into some momentum. Those other sides have those type of players who can tell when their side's struggling, and they do something consistently or brilliant or courageous to give their side a second win. We need that type of player, whoever it might be, or players, to start doing those types of leadership things to get our boys into the game and their head right. Number 3, captain's back. So Jared's back in after months, basically. Look, guys, you can't expect too much from him today. I'm sorry. He hasn't played for, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. I don't know how long it is, but it's very difficult. Training fitness is one thing. Match fitness is chalk and cheese. So you just can't expect miracles from Jared's first run back in a couple of months. He just has to play the team game, miss no tackles. His goal kicking needs to be solid. His rucks back need to be of quality to give us some yardage. He's going to take a little while to find his feet. He's going to be gasping for air in that first 10, 15 minutes. The players inside and out really need to support him, because his time is going to be off after being out for so long. So who's on the inside of him? Elliott's on the inside of him. Sammy's on his wing. So they really need to make sure that they clean up, because his time is not going to be spot on. Number 4, we've got to play the Titans in the middle. I've watched a few of the Titans game, particularly the Manly game a couple of weeks, where Manly scored 50 points in close to 40 minutes. Manly went down through the middle of the rucks, behind the rucks. The Titans have nimble forwards, but they do not recover well from making a tackle. Their markers are sloppy. So if we can get him behind the middles, either left or right, which is where Hodjo can really do a lot of damage when he runs out of dummy half and puts someone in coming from open, back into that ruck area on the left. Open, back into that ruck area on the right. That's where we can really catch the Titans out. If we can win that battle, that's when we can really open up the edges with the likes of Elliott and Jack, Sammy and Harawira Naira. So we've really got to work the Titans over in that middle ruck area to get some momentum. offloads are so important these days. You can tell not only with the six again, but when sides get momentum and they get offloads happening in those early tackles after a six again or a set repeat, it just tires other sides out. I don't think we're offloading the ball enough to really ask questions of scrambling defence. So the likes of Papa, Joe Tarpany when he comes on, these guys need to get offloads, and that's where the likes of Bailey and Raps and those guys should be sniffing around that ruck area, waiting for an offload. We need to get more offloads in our play. The back three are so critical now. So the likes of Bailey, Sammy, and Raps, big bodies. They're a big body back three. Their yardage work is critical, is most critical for us tonight. Going to be a little bit slippery. The Titans won't be used to the cold. So those guys getting that yardage to give our forwards a break is so paramount for us to get on the front foot. If we're, with those three bringing the back, if we're somewhere around that 40-metre line, halfway on the second or third tackle, it just gives us so much more time to really get positions for a real crack at the line. And if we don't score, we could be in a good position to get a kick in for a repeat set. So our back three is most important for our chance of getting the 2 points tonight. Number 7, we've got to work Ash Taylor over. His confidence is shot. He's a confidence player. The Titans usually try to hide him in defence, either outside for feeder or outside propped up. So we've really got to try and work him over, get to him as much as possible, and make him do two or three repeat sets. He's just come back from injury. So once again, he's a confidence player, Taylor. If we can really hone in on him early, make him work, rush his kicks, and so on, it's going to disjoint their attack for starters and really put us on the front foot of a victory. Let's come to the Titans. 3 things I see happening here with their play. Sam Williams is going to be in for a torrid night. Sammy's playing right defence, and he's going to be marking David Fifita. Now, Fifita has been in horrible form, particularly in the first 2 Origin games, but he does usually perform fairly well in the club games this year. So Jamal Fogarty will try and isolate Sam close to the line if they're attacking 10 metres out. He's going to try and line Fifita up on Sam Williams, without a doubt, 10 metres out. What he'll do, Fogarty will go to the line and go right into the line to draw the defence as much to him as possible in case he dummies, and then hit Fifita wide. So Sammy's really got to be up quickly, try and get Fifita around the legs. That's all he can do, and hope the likes of Corey Harawira, Bailey across in cover and so on can stop the momentum. That's usually the Titans' pet play close to the line, and they're certainly going to try and expose it with Sam, who's not a noted one-on-one solid defender. He usually needs some help around him to make the tackle. Number 9 is AJ Brimson. I have sniffing around the play the ball. Just like I said earlier around our offloads, Brimson's one of those real jack-in-the-box type of players who will be sniffing around the ruck, looking for an offload or a quick play the ball where he can go straight down behind the ruck in the middle. So once again with Brimson, just got to be on alert. He won't really do it the first 25 minutes, but the last 15 of the first half, and particularly the last 10 of that second half, where it could be a bit mad, could be a bit of a scramble, that's where you'll really see him bobbing up either side of the ruck, looking for a quick play of the ball, as I said, or someone giving him an offload, and he goes down that middle corridor. Number 10, I've gone for Big Tino. Once again, he hasn't had a good Origin series. He'll be hurting, and he'll be looking forward to this challenge of taking on the likes of Jack, Papali, who he played in the Origin with, and so on. So Tino's usually the guy that leads their pack, full of momentum, full of aggression, and he'll play close to the full 80. So once again, we've got to try and nullify his leadership, take him out of the game with good solid hits, get up in his face. He makes a few errors here and there, so we just got to make sure we don't give him the confidence of leading the Titans pack over our pack and get that momentum. Guys, this could be a tight one. We're not playing well enough to think we're going to blow the Titans out of the park by 20, 30 points. Earlier this year, we had a scrappy, I think, 20-12 win. It wasn't the best victory. I can see it being something like that again. As I said, we're just not playing with the confidence of a top side to put 20, 30, 40 points on the Titans at the moment, sadly, but it's reality. Guys, that's it for my top 10. Thanks so much for your support, my green family. As always, hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the links will be in the Facebook page. Hook up the podcast on Anchor. And can't wait for this one, guys, in a little over 4 hours. And as always, this is Berkey. Bleed Green, out.